G'day everyone! So a while ago, I spoke about a pretty cool series called Jibion Yingmeng, or as I refer to it as Machine Change League. This Chinese Transformers-like show captivated me as we followed the struggles of Shi Fengyan, Yi Zhanfeng and their crew as they battled to obtain unlimited power in the form of the Infinite Fire. Throughout their journey we meet many memorable bots, some for good reasons and others for being complete psychopaths. However, this show was great at blurring the lines of what is truly good and evil, showing how tainted both the light and shadow sides are and the conflict that comes with staying true to your beliefs. So at the end of my last video talking about this show, I mentioned that there were some trailers that dropped, teasing a continuation to the first 2 seasons after many years of silence. And it looks like the new show is meant to drop sometime this year if it hasn't already. Now, I wasn't planning to make a video updating you all on the news around this series, but once I saw the recent teaser, I knew I had to talk about it. But let me preface that I do not speak the language, so if there is anything I misinterpret, please feel free to correct me. So as I briefly mentioned, we had some teasers and trailers drop over the past year, showcasing the reinvigorated war between the light and shadow sides, all through the perspective of a young shadow warrior. And in the middle of it all is none other than Shengguang Shi Fengyan, as well as Yi Zhanfeng, Zhan He, Ling Yao, and potentially a revived Ye Shifeng, who are now known as the Han Shi Hao and are determined to put an end to all wars. However, neither side wants to come to peace, with the Shadow Alliance believing that this is the only way to survive, while the Light only ever see the dark side of the Shadow Alliance, which was something that Shi Fengyan voiced concern over all that time ago.
为什么？你们为什么就是不肯相信我？就因为我是影盟的吗？光芒，影盟，这难道就代表一切吗？
Regardless, there has been a lot of development showcased on the OGAnime's Weibo page, including some very exciting news that a few of my favourite bots like Bierfa and Wu Zhandao are making a return, which literally had me squealing in excitement. Although I do wonder what has happened to Budatong and Cheddar Pal, as so far I have not seen them in any of the teasers. However, the main reason I wanted to make this video was because of the short that dropped recently, featuring a new bot who I think is called Longhun Zanji, or Dragon Soul Fighter, where we watch them tear through Robohound in the most cinematic way possible. All the while I'm watching this thinking this place looks really familiar, until at the end of the hall we see the lifeless body of the original Shi Fengyan, who, if you don't recall, was damaged so badly that his mind had to be transferred into the body of Shengguang. Now this is exciting as we may potentially get to see 2 Shi Fengyans come face to face, with one having been abandoned with his last moments being to protect 117, which, oh my god, he is going to get a very rude awakening when he finds out that 117 has died. Also, this is a time when he is revealed to have previously been a Shadow Leaguer, meaning that he may still be haunted by that darker persona. Now, I can go on and on with theories, but he still may not be revived. However, what this does show is that they do end up going back to Earth, which should hopefully answer some questions about the end of Season 2. Anyway, I just wanted to have a bit of a chat about some developments on a series that I love, as this show doesn't seem to get a lot of recognition from Western audiences. Hopefully we hear a lot more news soon, and I am excited to see the new direction this show takes. Now in the meantime, I'm going to dive back into talking about an old Transformers game again, while we wait for the eventual release of Metal Carbot W and Machine Change League. So until next time, bye bye.
果然，光盟内部出了奸细，而且能窃取这么重要的情报，那家伙的职位应该不低才对。时限30分钟，老狐狸由我来引荐。
利用能量转变装置，将自身能量属性改变，借此渗透到影盟内部的作战。议长怎么会跟影盟的人有联系？天前的联络记录？怎么可能？哼！